going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers right there. And I'm
Steamy.
not being intentional. I'm just
Mm-mm.
saying it's just when you get to that point, the
Mm-hmm.
relationship is already reaching a level of toxicity that
Yes.
is going to be hard to come back from.
Once you start
Yeah.
looking in the phones and all that stuff, you're looking for trouble because you know you're gonna look for something that you're not supposed to see, and you might
Yeah.
as well just not be in a relationship with them.
I was always told if you go looking for something, you going to find it.
Hmm.
Hey, sis.
Hey sis, how are you and how was your week?
I'm good. I'm good. How was yours?
Mine was good. I'm still dealing with this cold, but I am feeling a little better than how I was.
Yeah, you sound and look better, so that's always good.
Thank you.
You know, I have a question.
Hmm.
Have Have you ever had a long distance relationship?
Oh yes, I have a couple.
Okay. No, it's just because this has been on my mind. Like, just filtering up in there and just wondering of, because we're in the life of online dating and meeting people online and all that stuff, and of course you have celebrities that live across from each other, and so I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, like, with long distance and age gap situations, like,
Mm.
what would your opinion be on an age gap relationship?
And see, that is a great question because, in my opinion, with an age gap relationship, age doesn't automatically equal like maturity because some people look at the maturity levels. And to me, it's all about how someone handles the situation, the communication, and also they have to take accountability. That is the major thing. Some people just assume since the younger or old, that's the maturity level that is going to be different. And so that could play a huge part. But in my opinion, age is just a number. And maturity is a mindset. So it doesn't matter how old you are, it just all depends on your mindset. And also, a set of actions as well has to follow along with that mindset. And so age can bring experience. I can say that. And then true maturity is shown through consistency and effort and also how you treat people as well. And so that's my
Ooh,
opinion on the age gap relationships. How about yours, sis?
girl, you you was cooking. Like, we starting off
Yeah,
just
you know, I
ooh,
gotta bring the appetizer. So now you gotta bring that main.
girl. Okay. I mean, well, with me, I feel like when it comes to, like, maturity and age, there is they definitely intertwine. Um, but one doesn't always come before the other.
Mm.
It's possible to have maturity without the older age. And I feel like the majority of the time, women do hit maturity a little bit quicker than men.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a fact.
Fight me in the comments. I don't care. But honestly, like, besides that, I really feel like maturity is really based on life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're exposed to mature situations earlier in life, then it automatically kind of speeds you up into the time frame of maturity. Um, like, take the industry for example. You have these child actors that are literally kids, and they are in an adult world. And
Mm.
so even though they are playing a kid role because they are kids, they're also, when the cameras are off, they're in that adult world to where they have to act and learn and do all things of an adult. And there's a lot of things that they're most likely exposed to being seen, they're exposed to while on
Yeah.
set and offset, too. And then on top of that, it's just being around that. It it naturally puts you in a different mindset than any other kid your
Mm-hmm.
age, in school. You know what I mean? You have no choice but to kind of grow up sooner than expected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that can also backfire as well, because with
Yeah.
being exposed to adult situations earlier, I mean, sometimes it can kind of cause you to keep that childlike mentality.
Mm,
And and that brings up like Michael Jackson, for example. Like
yeah.
yeah, may he rest in peace. He
Yes.
was a great individual, and I know that he was a star from childhood. And when he grew up, he had the whole Neverland thing and was always blessing other kids so they can have their, so they could still experience their kid
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. And and I feel like even though he did a beautiful thing and everything, but it's just like he never got that time back.
No.
He was from beginning always having to be professional in an adult professional world, and that takes a
Mm-hmm.
toll on you no matter what age you are. And so I feel like that even though I feel like age really, I kind of agree with you on the sense of age doesn't really dictate whether you are mature or not. It really,
Mm-hmm.
I think it really hones in on your experiences earlier on.
And I agree. And how they always say too, like a lot of therapists, they do say everything starts from childhood.
Yeah.
And so that plays a major role too on how people do develop over time. And like Michael Jackson was a good example because again, even though he grew up like in the industry, it
Mm-hmm.
just he paid for it in the end because he never had that childhood. And so when
Yeah.
he got to an adult, he was trying to live out that childhood. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and there's a lot of celebrities like like you mentioned, that have gone through that from being like stars.
Yeah.
They never really had that childhood to experience, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's why, yeah, life experiences that is a major role to me in the age.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So even though that does play a big part between with the maturity and age, also we got to look at the power within the age differences as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel age, it should not play a part on how you should have your dynamics with your partner. Sometimes the power isn't about the age, it's about who can control the situation. And also, a healthy relationship should feel equal. So nobody should feel like they're like more in control. Like if somebody is older than and they're dating somebody younger, they shouldn't feel like since they're older that they can control that person, because that's not what a relationship is about. It should be 100 and 100. I know people say 50-50, but it should be 100 and 100 because you guys got to put in full effort for that relationship to work. So the key is balance and respect, and with those two
Yeah.
things you guys will be able to have a healthy relationship, because you shouldn't make somebody feel like they're not worthy, or you shouldn't put somebody under because again somebody's younger than you. I mean,
Exactly.
that's not
Exactly.
fair.
No. No, I get it. And like I feel like the money and power, it's
Hmm.
it's a dangerous combination.
Oh yes.
And sad to say, it's really, I feel it's more dangerous in the male population because that male ego,
Ooh, it's
ooh,
high.
okay, like you try telling a man in power no and see how far that gets you.
They will have a fit.
Exactly, exactly. And it's like because with women when we have
Hmm.
power and money, it just, I feel it stems off of the male vibe because
Hmm.
when men have money and power, they have this
Hmm.
assertiveness to them that everyone just bows down and is like, yes sir. And so a woman, we can't come in with like, even if we have money and power, we can't come into a situation like, hi, yeah, so I'm your boss and listen to me. Like, no, we can't.
Right.
We
No.
have to have kind of like that male dominance in us to be like,
Hmm.
this is what we're going to do. And if you don't like it, you can kick rocks, And so,
Exactly.
of course, it comes
Exactly.
off as, we all know what the word is of what women get called when when they act like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I wouldn't say that. I would say that men kind of lead the way of how they pretty much set the tone of how it has to be
Hmm.
when it comes to that power and just money combination. It's like that king syndrome.
Yes, and we're not back in the days, you guys.
Exactly, but it's like there are, I feel like it's such a mixture. We have like,
Hmm.
we've really evolved. Society has
Hmm.
really evolved over,
Yes.
the years and everything. So women are seen more in a powerful light and everything.
Mhm.
And, kudos to us, like, girl power. but, no, but just sometimes I feel like it still kind of has that traditional vibe of the male being taken more serious, you
Yeah.
know, because even, and, taking it back to the industry, because it's like the perfect example, there are till this day, there are men that are still getting paid more than women, and they're
Exactly.
and they're basically equals. One is not above the other, and
Mhm.
there can be a woman that has more seniority, has been in the game longer, but just because he's a male, he's getting paid more. And that's
Exactly.
and that's not fair. And like, you can have the guys that are like chivalrous and like, oh, that's not right, and trying to stand up for
Mhm.
it, but at the end of the day, that's not really that's not really going to work,
No.
because it has to be a set standard of
Mhm.
what is allowed and what isn't. And when we take a stance, it's like,
Mhm.
we're coming off as being difficult, but it's like, no,
Mhm.
you guys naturally, men naturally have this ability to where they can create their own rules and people will respect it. But as women, we
Exactly.
are always looked over.
Exactly. And we have to go through way much more just to try to get to like the level that men are. And
Exactly.
so, and again, with like the industry, like you were saying, like look at the sports. Like if you compare
Yeah.
NBA to WNBA,
Yeah,
who's getting paid
exactly.
more?
Exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
a lot of people watch WNBA, and to me, I feel like they should be getting paid more. I mean, a lot of people watch them just like how they watch the NBA.
Mhm.
And it's just, I feel like people just need to be treated equally, no matter what gender we are. Because regardless, if we work hard, we should both be treated equally.
Exactly. And it's not like you're being support to the other. Like, we're working
Right.
as a team. There you wouldn't have the there's and within sports, you wouldn't have
Mhm.
the whole team. The whole team has to work together.
Exactly.
One person is not the whole show.
Exactly.
And the same with being in the public eye and in the music and acting
Mhm.
and all that stuff, the movie industry and everything. Like, when it comes to it, the whole cast is what makes the movie, not that
Mhm.
one person. Like, yeah, you may have more people that are interested in seeing the movie because this one person is in it, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that person cannot just do the movie by themselves.
No, you need everybody to make the movie great.
Exactly. So being treated as equal can really take us far.
Oh, yes. And I agree with that.
Yeah, big egos definitely.
It's a no no.
So yeah, ideally you would want to find a happy medium between the two,
Hmm.
but obviously life doesn't always work out that way.
Unfortunately. In regards to all that with the age gap differences, I know there's been a lot of judgment from others when they do see age gap relationships. And so, when many people, I guess they think just because somebody is younger that equals that they're immature, and or that if somebody is older, that means that they're boring. And so, I mean, that's not the case. There's some older people who actually love to have fun, or
Yeah.
have like they're like a child at heart. And so sometimes they want to be with a younger person too because they do want to have fun and still enjoy their time. And
hmm
so people shouldn't just judge because of their age that they're going to be either or. I mean, you would have to just give them a chance and see them for who they are instead of their age.
Yeah,
And
take like parents. Oh, sorry. Like
no, 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 you're
like
good.
take parents for example. Like,
Hmm.
there people feel like just because you become a parent that you automatically have to play a role. But it's like and you know what? And I mean, it's okay, but at the end of the day, it's like, you can still be youthful with having
Yes,
kids and
yes.
everything. And because for example, like my parents, like they sometimes I feel like we switch roles, like
Oh, oh yeah.
like
Mm.
they're really great, raising me and everything. Like,
Oh yes,
kudos to them, appreciate
yes,
them.
yes.
But then
Kudos.
at some point they just became like the children in our relationship, and it's just like they are so youthful, like they are in their 60s and just thriving. My dad still listens
Mine.
to like the music that my husband listens to, My mom, she dresses younger than
Oh
me.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know,
My
like
mom's a fashionista.
oh my gosh, I'm not into fashion like that, so I've
Girl,
always
it's
needed
okay.
help. But
Girl,
but
it's
it's
okay.
but I'm just saying like I don't feel like my parents ever let their age be a factor of like, oh, because we're this age, we have to
Mhm.
act a certain type of way. And I just
Mhm.
don't feel like that really is necessary. And so
No.
that just like jogged my memory when you had said that. And I just wanted to say that because, you don't have to automatically be boring just because, I'm this age or just because I have
Right.
kids. It doesn't, no.
And then a lot of things too, like most of them, I mean, like even with my parents, like they worked, most of their age, and then when they get to a certain age, they want to enjoy. So there's nothing wrong with that. And
Exactly.
so people just need to stop judging without actually being in those people's shoes so they can
Hmm.
actually see. We have to stop being judgmental because you can end up losing somebody who's actually great because you're looking at their age without
Hmm.
actually getting to know them. And you never know, that person can be a perfect match for you. And so, as long as you feel the love is real and genuine, that should all be that matters. And that's
Yeah.
how what I think people need to start looking at. Look at people's heart and look at how they act and their mindset instead of
Hmm.
looking at the age.
No, I totally agree. And it depends too because, you got to look at it this way. When you have
Mm.
an older man with a younger woman, that can
Oh,
that can cause concern.
yes.
Especially like if the guy is like what in his what, let's say his 40s and she's in her
Oof.
early 20s or however,
Mm-hmm.
that can look a certain type of way. But then you can have it when a woman's in like her 30s and a guy is like in his 70s. That gives off like gold digger vibes, you
Exactly.
know?
Like,
Like with like a 20-year gap, like, okay, I don't know. But larger than that, it's like, okay, we assume we know why you're in this. And that's just
right,
dealing with the younger woman versus the older man. But
right.
then, it can also be flipped because, an older woman dealing with a younger man that gives off cougar vibes. you
Yes.
know and so I mean like significantly younger man, like, I feel like a couple years, like, between the 5-year gap, that doesn't really count. Like,
No, no.
that's you're still like okay, but
But
when it's like a 10-year or more gap, it's like mommy syndrome type thing.
question.
Yeah, it's like, um I don't know how I would feel about that. Like, I don't want to jump to conclusions here and everything, but I don't know, but I don't know.
I mean, I can. Well, looking at some like on TikTok, I'll look sometimes at different age gap relationships just to be curious. And some people actually been together for a while with those big age gaps,
Yeah.
and it works for them. So I guess if it just works for you and that's your
Mhm.
preference, that's fine. I mean, no
Yeah.
judgment over here. Like again, that's
Yeah.
your preference. Some people might not prefer that,
Yeah,
but
but that's the main reason of keeping people out of your business too. Like
that's
if
true.
it's your
That's
natural
true.
dynamic and it's
That's true.
working for the both of you,
Yeah.
then that's all that matters. Like whatever other people have to
Hmm.
say, it's really just it's a non-factor at this
No,
point because it's like they're not the ones that are in the relationship. You guys are.
exactly. And yep, and that's the main key
Yeah.
point.
As
So,
long as you're in it for the right reasons, then I feel it's justified.
oh yes,
So
most now that
definitely.
we have talked about the age gap, now another major thing that is in the dating world is long distance relationships. And so, when it comes to long distance relationships, I feel like communication is the major key to a
Yeah.
long distance relationship. And so, in order for that relationship to work, you have to have communication and you guys have to have both like a mutual understanding because without both of those, it's going to make the relationship hard because you can't like talk to somebody who's miles away and then go days without talking to them, and it just makes that person just think, I mean, what are they doing? Are they talking to somebody else? Are they interested in me still? like just million things running in their mind. And so that's why I just feel like even though you guys might text, I feel like in-person communication is a must when it comes to long distance. Because if you don't have that, I mean, texting is okay, but that's just not enough. Because you got to be able to feel that person in person. Like, you got to be able to see how they are. You got to be able to see how their actions are. Because anybody could say anything over a text and not mean it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, that happens a lot. And I know a lot of people text because it is more convenient. But a real connection is in someone's voice and seeing their expression and also feeling their energy as well. And so you need to be able to feel that type of emotional connection with that person because, again, like I mentioned before, anybody could just say anything on the phone and type. And even with phone conversations as well, those are nice. But, again, you don't know how that person's expression is like behind the phone. Communication, that is one of the key foundations to any relationship, even if it's not long distance. It's still a key point for a relationship.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I totally agree. And I think with long distance relationship, I feel that they could work in a short term. Because like to really know someone, you gotta be in person. You know, at least for a while. You have to be in person for a while at least at first, you know? And then if you guys have to be apart, whether it's for work or whatever, then it possibly can work. But the end goal needs to be that you guys are going to get back in person, whether you have to leave or they have to come back, however. But someone's got to have to make the sacrifice. Because because like you had said, like, you know, calls and texts, you know, you can only do so much because after a while they get old. And
start to fade away.
Yeah, and both, you know, you and I naturally are not phone people.
Oh no.
Even though I prefer to text more, that doesn't take the place of communicating with a significant other.
Yeah.
At least not in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, honestly, I really don't know how people do it, to be honest, because nothing beats that in-person connection. You know, or at least having access to that in-person connection. And, you know, because anything can happen. Calls drop, you know, text messages, they get misinterpreted or not sent at all. You know, but that in-person connection is unbeatable. Like looking at someone and reading their body language and just like really reading them in person, you can really see a lot more than just their words because it boils down to actions.
Right.
You know, communication is key, but also actions is just as important because you can say all what you want over the phone or in a text, but you can talk to me face to face. And, you know, and I can just look at you and be like, yeah, I don't think you're as in it as I thought you were. Exactly. You know, you can read a lot more through it.
And I agree with that. And that's what it also ties down to trust as well. That's another major thing. And so trust does hit differently when you're not physically around that person because all you do have is just their word and consistency. And so with trust playing a big part, you have to be able to trust your partner because if they do break that trust, it's going to cause like a whole major issues. And most likely the relationship is not going to work once that trust is broken. People have to be intentional with each other and the relationship cannot be one-sided. And so with the trust, you have to, it ties with communication because you guys both have to communicate and be able to build up that trust. And again, bringing it back with you guys being in person, you guys have to be in person in order to also build up that trust because just texting and calling over the phone, that's not enough to build up your trust at all.
No, for sure. And like personally, like I in my earlier days, like now I'm better, but I used to be very trusting. Like
Me too.
Just gullible girl. Like
me too.
you know, and you know, as long as there was no gaps in communication,
Mm-hmm.
then, I feel like there's a chance, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But like if there were like if I were in a long distance relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um if I call or I text and I know that it's a time where you're normally available
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason you don't respond, and you don't respond in a reasonable time frame, um my trust begins to dwindle.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and then I become an honorary FBI agent, and and if I find something,
That's it.
he's cooked.
That's it. And you know what makes it worse too is like you text them and then you see them on social media. It's like so you can go on social media, but you can't take 1 second to text me back.
I I'll never get it. The
Yeah.
the male mind is very interesting.
Exactly. Like it don't take to me. It don't take a second. I mean, I know everybody's busy. They got things going on, or they might be doing something. But in my opinion, it don't take a second just to send a quick text.
Exactly. Just to close that gap of uncertainty, because the
Yes.
longer those, I mean, women in general, like, speaking for myself in general,
Hmm.
my mind can go a mile a minute and it just be racing. So
Me too.
me left to my own thoughts can be very dangerous sometimes.
Yes, because
So
I'm.
yeah,
Yes.
so can you imagine having this bond with someone and they're long
Mm-hmm.
distance, you have no idea of what's going on and everything, like,
Mm-mm.
and then you're like, okay, I know that this is our times that we have set aside for one another, and now I'm over here messaging you. It's like naturally I would go into, you know what, I'm worried, like, are they okay,
Right.
but then if I see your butt online, and I mean actively online, not just showing that you're, not just the green
Online.
circle, but
Oh,
I
so
mean, like,
more.
yeah,
Yes.
but no, like, I mean, I'm seeing you communicating with other people, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
huh, interesting.
Okay. I see what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah. And so now that makes me think of, like, what else are you doing without me knowing? And that's where,
Exactly.
and then that's where the domino effect pretty much just happens there. So,
Right, because it makes you feel like you're not a priority, basically.
yeah.
That's what it makes you feel like.
Yeah. It, like, knocks you off the cycle.
Even though with people having trust as a big thing, effort is another one too, because you have to have balance with both parties with effort. And you don't want to have a one sided relationship because that's not going to work. Like
No,
the effort should be mutual between both of you guys. And
hmm
it shouldn't feel like one person is carrying everything in the relationship. And so, like, just for example, like traveling, like one person shouldn't always make the plans to want to meet up. It should be both you guys. Because to
hmm
me, that's going to make me feel like I'm only excited to see you. You're not excited to see me because you're not making any efforts to see me.
hmm hmm No, for
And
sure. I get it. Yeah.
same thing with calling too. Like I shouldn't be the one who initiates the calls or the FaceTimes or the texts. It should be both sided. Like if you don't hear from me from a while, you can sometimes hit me up first. I shouldn't have to hit you up if I don't hear from you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
so,
for sure. It definitely has to be equal. But especially being an introvert, like, when
hmm
we start trusting within someone,
hmm
then it's really big for us.
hmm
It puts us in a different realm. And with that equality, it just
hmm
really just it will complete us. You know what I mean? Like, and I agree. It has to be
hmm
equal with the calls. It has to be equal with the effort that's shown, because if one person is just doing everything, then it's like I could be in a relationship by myself. I don't really
exactly.
need. Yeah, it's like I don't really need you. Like, you're in a relationship with someone because you want to be partners, as in you're each other's
hmm
equal. Not
Right.
you're over here just talking to a wall. That's gonna
Right.
get no one anywhere. It can be as simple as, like, just a check-in, and
hmm
and it can go back and forth, like, oh, they checked on me yesterday, let me check on them today, and just
Yeah.
show effort in something, and to not be on some insecure BS.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because Just the simple fact of I love you and I want to check in to make sure you're good. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, let me see what they're doing and everything. Because I feel like once you get to that point, the relationship's cooked. It's done.
Yes.
You know, like if you have to constantly go through each other's phones, or you have to constantly look in their DMs and see who they're messaging and everything, like, you know, and I know that's going to touch a lot of people. That's going to ruffle a lot of people's feathers right there. And I'm not being intentional. I'm just saying it's just when you get to that point, the relationship is already reaching a level of toxicity that is going to be hard to come back from, because you're already starting bad habits.
Right. And that's just going to, like you said, it's going to go downhill because you're basically looking for trouble. Once you start looking in the phones and all that stuff, you're looking for trouble because you know you're going to look for something that you're not supposed to see. And so if you have that issue, then you don't have no trust in your partner. And you might as well just not be in a relationship with them.
I was always told, if you go looking for something, you're going to find it.
Exactly.
So, and it's not like you want to live in oblivion or whatever, but it's just you want to be realistic, okay? Like, you're, at the end of the day, this person chose you.
Right.
And if you are so insecure to them having any type of friend or whatever of the opposite sex that bothers you so much, then it's like you should really reevaluate yourself. Because I mean, respect is one thing, of course, you know. If they're not, I mean, I can see if they're being disrespectful, then it's like, okay, yeah, you should probably reevaluate the relationship. But if it's something like it's literally a platonic friendship and there's no foul business going on, then I feel like, what's the problem? You know, they're coming home to you. They chose you. So why does it matter if they're talking to somebody else? Exactly. You know, on a serious level, on a, you know, a friendship base. Like, I feel people are allowed to have friends.
And they are. And then if something is going on, whatever happens in the dark will come to the light. And so
facts.
So, I mean, don't stress yourself out on something like that. Like you mentioned, if they've been friends, especially before the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Then as long as there's nothing that's disrespectful or any signs that are showing disrespect, then leave it alone. Don't mess with it.
Exactly, because I feel like it's like that Keisha Cole song that I should have cheated. You know, it's like, you know, you gonna sit here and accuse me of everything, and it's like, you know, I didn't, but I should have.
Exactly.
You know,
and sometimes people do actually do it because they get tired of being accused. Even though that doesn't give them an excuse, but I'm just saying that happens.
Yeah, you know, people, you know, like at the end of the day, we're adults. And no adult likes to be told what to do or how to go about their adult life.
Exactly.
You know? No. Like I said, we are equal. I am not marrying my parent. I am marrying my equal. You know? Okay. I do not have time to sit here and be babysat by my significant other. No. That makes zero sense.
And y'all, insecurity is not cute at all.
Ooh, say that again for the people in the back.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. It's not cute.
At all.
So don't bring that into a relationship.
Yeah, don't do that. Fix yourself first before you get involved with someone. And I promise you that relationship will be 10 times better once you do that.
Yes. With dealing with long distance relationships too, I know it does cause like a lot of loneliness. And I know that with the loneliness at times, it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, because with the loneliness, it can help with you being able to still have your independence and not be so dependable on somebody all the time. But it is nice to have somebody around you because, I mean, you do want, like, again, with that connection, you do want to have that person in person with you so you guys can still be able to build. Some people might use their independence like too much, where it can cause where they feel that they want their space, and even though being in a relationship, they would rather still have their space. Like, I heard some conversations where some people want to be married, but they want to have 2 separate homes. I mean, to me, you can still have the same home, but if you guys want to have two separate rooms, like that's why guys have a man cave and a woman have like her she cave. You
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah.
But to me, if you're married, I feel like I would want to be in the same home as my partner,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you guys signed to be together. You guys made that covenant, and so what sense does that make for you to have your own place and then
Yeah.
your spouse is in another place?
Yeah, you're
Make that
right.
make
Like
sense.
it really doesn't make sense if you think about it. And I have heard
No.
of that. I'm like, if you want your space so bad, then don't get married.
Exactly.
Just casually date and you can maintain your space. But I feel
Right.
like that's kind of selfish if
Mhm.
you're going into a marriage knowing that this is how you are and like
Mhm.
you have your own place, I have my own place, but we're married and everything. It's like I feel like you're controlling that other person
Yep.
of like you are to only be with me, but when I don't want to be around you, then you go to your place and I stay at mine. And it's
That's
like
not fair.
that's not fair. That's not what
No.
we are making vows to each other for, like this that doesn't sit well with me, and it's definitely a controlling mechanism, to be honest. Like,
Yes, and I agree with you on that. And it's just to me like, again, if you got, I mean, everybody goes through problems in their relationships and marriages, but if you want space, go in your man cave. I won't bother you.
yeah,
I'll leave you alone. I'll give you your space.
yeah,
And then the next day, y'all talk it out, because that's the whole thing about relationships. You guys got to talk it out and come
mm-hmm.
to what the root of the argument was. Because if you guys want to be together, you guys have to work it out.
Yep. You gotta learn
And
how to be together.
yes, because that builds trust. And so I wouldn't, honestly, I mean, if somebody I'm married to is living in a different house, one, bills,
It,
extra bills that we don't need. Why? Like, why would you move and have more bills for us to pay? Two, if we have kids.
yeah,
So one kid's gonna have to go to one house and then come back to another house. At that point, you might as well just, like you said, not be together.
exactly. And I mean, as an introvert, you know, I
Hmm.
can understand wanting your own space,
Yes,
because I do thrive in independence.
yes,
When
yes.
it comes to being in a relationship, it's a lot different. When,
Hmm.
like, for example, if I'm at work and I get overstimulated,
Hmm.
then I need that time. I need like 15 minutes to just like, okay, let me just gather my thoughts. But
Right.
when it comes to being in a relationship, it's kind of not the same thing, you know? Like when I'm detaching myself away from things, it's things that I'm not necessarily like all in or 100% caring for. When I have a
Hmm.
significant other, I care for that person wholeheartedly.
Yes.
And me finding my own recharge without them, I feel is a dangerous pattern to create,
Hmm.
because if anything, I should be finding my recharge with them, you know?
Right. Right.
Like there's times where I've been away from, my spouse, and cuz mind you, we were best friends first. And
Hmm.
so there was times I'd be away and then I would hear like other people's situations, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, this is just overwhelming." And I literally would just have to come home and be like, "I just need a hug." you know
Yeah.
and that enough can just be a recharge. You don't
Right.
necessarily have to spend like a whole separate household away, or
No.
or go on a whole trip away. Like I feel like, because when you start creating distance like that, you're just
Hmm.
creating a larger and larger gap,
Hmm.
and before you know it, you're going to realize that I can literally do bad all by myself here.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like, what do I need you for? Like if you choose to handle, like when you're in a marriage, you're doing things together,
Hmm.
and that is the whole idea of you becoming one. And when you decide that you solely want to do things on your own, you want to go rogue and, just use yourself as your own confidant or whatever, then you're kind of defeating the purpose of having a partner,
I agree.
and so I just feel like, you got to find that balance again. It's good to have your independence, but also you need to find that healthy balance between the two.
And whatever that looks like to you is what that looks like. You just have to make sure that it's healthy and that both of you are in agreement of it.
I do agree with that. And it's just like you said, sometimes we do need days to recharge, but it's like you said, it is nice when you have that supportive partner who understands that as well. And so they will, if they understand that, they will give you that space to recharge. But you don't need to do it in another house.
Yeah.
Your partner will be respectful enough to walk somewhere else and let you recharge. Now, let's get into will we actually want to have an gap relationship. I know this doesn't really pertain to you since you are married, but
we could do hypotheticals.
Yeah, yes. But if we would like to have like a long distance or age gap relationship, and so with me personally, I would not mind a long distance because I've been in a couple. I had a couple that didn't work, but I had one that became a marriage, which was my late husband. And so with our relationship, we met working at the airport. And so he lived in a different town from me. And so at first he traveled to me, and then with him being in the military and COVID going on, he wasn't able to travel a certain distance. So we communicated, and I was traveling to him, which I didn't mind because he will have stuff planned out for us. We'll take trips. And then so with that, and then I ended up joining the military. And so I had to go to basic training at AIT. So that was more of a distance relationship still. But we communicated the best we could while I was gone. And he proposed while I was still in training. And then when I came back, I ended up moving in with him, and then we got married and had a kid. And so basically from that being successful was us having the communication, us having the effort, and us having that trust, because there was no issues while we were dating during our long distance.
Yeah.
I mean, we might had minor issues, but they weren't major. Like, nobody broke the trust.
Oh,
and
that's the most important part.
Yes, that is a major key, because my trust issues after going through some not so successful long distance relationships, my trust was like, I don't know, is this gonna work?
No, I remember.
Yes, So, but after going through that, I do see that there is success. So now I know, since he has passed, if I were to try again to date somebody, I still wouldn't mind. I'll still be open to the long distance. And even with the age gap, my husband, I wouldn't say it was a big age gap. He was 1 year younger than me.
Oh, that's not that. I'm telling you, you were still within that 5 year. Like,
yes.
And to be frank here, my husband is younger than me too, but it's only by like a couple of weeks. Okay.
Oh,
right. I'm at the end of March and he's like mid-April. So
yeah.
That's like, it's not, he leave it to him. He calls me old all the time, but it's like
mine did too. I'm like, it's only 1 year. Stop.
Yeah. I'm like, calm down. I'm not your sugar mama.
Exactly. Or I'm not a cougar.
Exactly. Okay. But when it comes to long distance, like, obviously speaking in hypothetical here, and I mean, I feel, even though it's not realistic for me, I can still come off of it with all honesty, because I'm literally going off of how I was before I was married. So it's still valid. But so for a long distance relationship, no.
I knew you were going to say no. I knew
Just
it.
Straight out no. Because like, seriously, it definitely couldn't be for long term. And as far as a gap, back in the day, I used to say that I would only go up a few years. Never down. Like, me personally, it's not for me. I couldn't be with someone like much younger than me.
You know, even if they are mature for their age, that's nice. But I always, it's a mental thing, I guess, for me. But I would always want to be with someone that would be older, and that was my preference. And it's just hilarious because, you know, obviously life has a way of working itself out because, you know, me and my husband, we're the same age, but but I am a couple of weeks older. But, you know, but we're still within the same year, so it doesn't count. It balances each other out.
And it does. And I agree with you too with the age gap, because with me, younger, I could probably do 1 or 2 years. But older, I can give it up to at least 5 years. I can do that. But other than that, my preference, I couldn't do older than that.
Yeah. No, 5 is safe. 5 is safe, because if we get too much older than that, like, I'm sorry, the immaturity in me, I'm going to start cracking jokes on age. Like, I'm going to be like, yeah, so is that how they used to do it back in the 70s? Like, I am going to clown and roast you to a T. And it's just naturally in me. I grew up being roasted. Like, my dad was always a roaster. Okay, yes, you know. So it's like, I kind of have that instilled within my DNA. And so it's like, I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings, but the minute I find out there's significant age gap, I'm going in.
I'm sorry.
And it's just a natural mechanism. Like, oh, I don't mean to do that. Like, I feel like that probably tugs on some heartstrings, but I'm like,
you have to get over it. I'm sorry.
Oops.
And then another reason too, because I have a daughter, so I look at that too. Like, I wouldn't want somebody too much older because I have a younger daughter as well. Yeah. So that's another thing that plays a part.
No, that makes sense.
Yes. And then now going into what the deal breakers are going to be. Now, these are my deal breakers.
All right, go on.
Inconsistency. I hate people who are inconsistent. Like, don't tell me you will do one thing and then you do it for a little bit, but then you don't do it, and you just switch up. Like, I can't. Me and inconsistency don't go together. I can't do it. It irks my blood.
Facts.
And then another thing is not sticking to your word. I'm all about somebody being a man of their word. That's one thing I could say my late husband was. Even though he didn't agree with some of the things that I wanted to do or I wanted, he still was a man of his word and still honored. And so that's one thing that I still am. That's one of my top things. Like, you got to be a man of your word, or we're not going to work.
Facts.
And then also, not showing any effort, like not making effort to want to see me or make plans. Like, that's a no-go. No. Yeah. And maturity. If you're immature to, like, the bad immature, no, I can't do that because I'm not raising 2 kids. I'm sorry.
That part.
No, I got 1 kid to raise, okay?
Yes.
And then, of course, you know, trust, communication, and you have to be emotionally available. If you're not, stay away from me. Please stay away from me because I don't have time.
Go on, get.
Girl, yes. Go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, with me, my deal breakers, you know, mine's not much, you know? But the only thing that, the only one I would consider is the slight age gap. I can definitely, with someone older, so I would definitely consider that. But as far as the long distance, like, that's just, that's a no for me, dog. Like, it's just, no. I know how I am, and I feel like that I don't want to start off a relationship being toxic. So I just avoided it at all costs, and I feel it worked out just fine for me because, you know, I'm not in a long distance relationship, and I made sure that I did not create one. And, you know, even like with the situation I have going on now that I don't want to speak on just yet, but I can't wait to talk about it. But basically what is going on is, like, you know, with, I had an opportunity of having a long distance relationship right now, work wise, but, but me and my husband, we turned it into a togetherness thing because it could have easily brought us apart. Not in a negative way. It just would have separated us naturally. But we just chose to work together versus be apart. And I don't want to get into it right now because it's a little too personal. Oh, yeah. But definitely something that I would be willing to talk about later. But yeah, that's basically it. Like it's a no for the long distance, but the age gap, you know, it is what it is. That would be hypothetically for me.
Yes, and you guys, I just want to go back off what she was saying. That was communication right there. And so they both had that communication, and it worked.
We did.
See?
Yep. It always circles back to communication. Yeah. Like when you're building that foundation within a relationship, like you will have all these different levels of what's going to strengthen it. But it always ties back to communication, because if you're not communicating, then that foundation is weak.
Ooh, that is so true. Mm-hmm. Preach.
Did I just cook?
So girl, you just cooked, you flamed, you grilled, you did everything.
Girl, yes.
And so with that being said, I do just want to take away that the real question isn't if it can work. It's whether it's truly working for you.
That is a good question. That makes you think right there.
Yes. It makes you think. And so, I mean, just to say, I mean, you guys, it's up to you. It's your preference. And if you want to make it work, you will make it work. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you will. Anybody, like male, female, spouse, whatever. If you're really into it, then you'll find ways.
Oh, yes.
And if you're not, it'll show.
Big time.
Yeah.
So think hard.
Because when you're getting involved with someone, you're bringing that someone into your life. Yeah. And you're no longer thinking for just you. You have to think for both of you. And same with the other person. They're thinking for the both of you. And if you're both thinking of each other, then you can't really go wrong. It'll always lead you back to what strengthens you, what keeps you both going. And as long as you don't deprive yourself, each other, of doing that, then you'll be fine.
And if it's meant to be, it will happen. Don't force it. Just let it be naturally and go from there.
Facts. If this episode resonated with you in any way, please share it. Share it with a friend, family, anyone that you feel that could probably benefit from hearing this. We want to chat with them as much as we want to chat with you. And we want to thank you for tuning in to our episode, whether you are listening on whichever platform that you listen to podcasts on, or if you're watching us here on YouTube. We appreciate our listeners, our watchers, viewers, everybody. And, you know, we are having so much fun with doing this podcast. You know, it's just as it's fun of having, it's also therapeutic for both of us. Oh, yeah. And, you know, it's an amazing thing. And I'm just so grateful that we were able to share our bond with you all.
And we do want to consider you guys our besties as well. So continue to keep watching, liking, subscribing, and listening as well. Okay?
Yes. She said what she said. You heard her.
Period. Bye, sis. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.